everyone. Happy Thanksgiving Eve and welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is right here. The only show that only sniffs glue twice a week to get ready for shows. I am Mike Letta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my smiling partner, Brian, the Ranger Tart. Brian, how are you today?
I'm awake. I'm here.
Happy
I'm already being asked where's my Dallas gear. We'll talk about that.
Happy post-turkey day.
I'm looking forward. I don't know about any of you guys. I'm a Black Friday shopper, so I'll be looking to get out of wherever I am around 4 o'clock and go spend my hard-earned money.
Just some of our friends out there, make sure you don't eat too much bird, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get right to it, Brian. Well, you want to talk about, the Sports Box, as always, is sponsored by a great guy.
Absolutely. We are brought to you by DJ Mike Velardi from Mic'd Up Entertainment. Mike is hosting trivia tonight. Applebee's in Sicklerville starts in just about a half hour, so you can, if you want to leave our show early, go to Mike's. We're not going to be upset about that. Now, he won't be there tomorrow, obviously, because we all have something better to do tomorrow.
I'll be upset if they leave.
Well, he would be there every Thursday in Turnersville, but thank you to DJ Mike. And obviously, good luck to DJ Mike and the rest of the Hamilton Blue Devils coming up in the Group 4 final against Shawnee.
We will have the St. Joe special next week, so keep an eye out for that. That should be a good time. So, Brian, let's get to it. The NFL Week 11, a little look back. And I'm going to go over some stuff, too, that I think was pretty shocking. Not shocking to me, though, and you heard it here on the Sports Box, was Nathan Peterson laying a big fucking fat egg in the game against the Chargers. And if you hadn't charged in your defense, you're welcome.
Nathan Peterman, but he was so bad he might as well change. He might want to change his name. Oh, my God.
So. 5 interceptions. That's right. 5 interceptions in the first half. So now, hey, guess what? They're going to Tyrod Taylor. What a shock against the Chiefs.
Buffalo.
What a surprise.
You know what's funny? Like, Buffalo to me, I know Joe Capuccio is watching, a big Bills fan. I'm not really sure what to make of them, right? Because first we think they're going to be terrible. Then we think they're not really trying to win. They make a couple trades, know. And then, they send away Sammy Watkins out to L.A.
And get Calvin Benjamin,
And then they end up getting Calvin Benjamin. Like, I'm not sure where they are right now.
Yeah.
They have no long-term solution at quarterback, and they know it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the coaching situation there, but, my heart goes out to Chris Danielson. They make you think they're going for it, and then not so much.
Yep.
Really stood out to me is a couple of things. I'll go with 2 and then hit it back to you. First and foremost, as predicted here on the Sports Box, the Cowboys without Tyron Smith would not beat Cleveland. And I stand by that comment, and I will stick with going with that comment, because if he doesn't play on Thursday, they're going to lose again. And you saw how Dallas could get nothing going offensively during that game because, again, Eagles pass rush, nothing to sleep on, but it's also easier when the left tackle's terrible.
Yeah.
So not really a surprise there. And also, how about the Saints?
How about the Saints?
How
about even Washington losing a 15-point lead?
Yeah, I mean, you got to put that game away. But for a team like New Orleans, again, we're more surprised by them every week because they win games in all kinds of different ways.
Yep.
Whether they're going to run the ball on you, they're going to throw it, or they're going to defend. Now they're coming from behind.
And deadly in that 2-minute offense. I mean, you give Drew Brees that much time to get in our game, it's like lights out.
You're another win close to having to walk to Texas. I know James Primo is watching. I know
he is. He's loving life. He was waiting for this show to come on too. I saw the Who Dat comment, James.
John Caruso, Prescott is overrated. Prescott sucks. I have no idea why. If he wasn't if he was not the quarterback of the Cowboys, nobody would care. And I'm gonna just let me rant on this real quick.
Okay.
I give the Cowboys 0 credit for drafting him. They tried to draft 6 other guys before they took him. Everybody's talking about Wentz versus Prescott. Listen, if there's a debate, right, and Prescott is in the conversation with Wentz, that's a win for Prescott. Wentz was the number 2 overall pick in the draft.
And Prescott was drafted down there and wasn't expected to start because he was last year. But I will say, too, and I'm trying not to defend him, but I'm just going to say Prescott is part of that offense, okay? A quarterback goes as that system goes, and he is a guy who needs Ezekiel Elliott back there. And guess what?
It's not even that, though.
But here's the thing. Who wouldn't want to have Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield to help you out a little bit? With this running attack, it wasn't really a balanced running attack that they had. The Eagles were all over them. I mean, the Eagles' front four is phenomenal.
No, absolutely.
And like you said, when people compare Prescott to Wentz, it's really no comparison anymore.
It's just, but to me, it's Eagles fans trying to get me to tell them that I like their guy better than mine. Like it matters.
Right, and like we had said before, Wentz was a guy who was drafted 2nd overall for this team, and he was going to start. Prescott wasn't supposed to play last year and was forced into it because of injury, and here we are today with Prescott. I mean, I think he's going to be he's going to be a good quarterback. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? Who knows? I mean, right? I mean, is he going to be a Hall of Famer? Eagles fans probably not, but He's good for this system. I think he's a fine quarterback. I think he's going to be okay. But for people to put him up on the Wentz pedestal, he can't because he wasn't drafted to be that guy.
The Cowboys' best option at quarterback is currently doing color commentary for CBS.
No, he's not coming
Period.
back. He's not coming back. I mean,
well, anyway, while we're talking about this,
yes.
Right, let's go into our question of the day, brought to you by Dave Birnbaum with Remax Community. The Buy with Burn question. If you're not yet in our Outside the Box sports group, make sure you join. It's really a lot of fun.
It is a hell of a question.
Guys are really having a good time there.
Yep.
The question is, right now, is Carson Wentz the MVP of the league? And what I did, because we do have a lot of Eagles fans in the group, is the way I asked the question was, are you an Eagles fan? Yes. Are you an Eagles fan? No.
Sure.
So on and so forth. The final count was 21 yes and 25 no. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's the MVP. To me, and again, we've been having these conversations all over social media about MVP this, MVP that. Yep. In my personal opinion, Aaron Rodgers is the MVP because look how bad Green Bay is without him.
And I think you're nuts, but
that's fine. The Eagles MVP, to me, is Lane Johnson. Look at their record with him in the lineup and without him in the lineup, and there was a stark difference.
If you're going to say an Eagles MVP, I'd say it's Alshon Jeffrey because he's really getting a lot of catches, which the Eagles didn't have last year. Nelson Aguilar's dropped off a little bit, but Alshon Jeffrey's really getting it done for them.
I'm going to challenge you. The catches they didn't have last year. Mm-hmm. Carson Wentz's completion percentage is down from last year. And all we heard last year, with the Eagles, and obviously they started 3-0 and they're great. They finished, 6-10, 7-9. Was their receivers are terrible.
Well, but I think that it's down a little bit because he has some help now. He's got a little bit of a running game that they're running the ball a little more. And look at the defense. The defense is making plays. They're all over the field. So I think that goes into consideration.
I had an in-depth conversation with Anthony Morella, our Eagles correspondent, and we talked a little bit about this subject. And he also agrees Wentz is not the MVP of the league, at least not just yet.
Right.
And what he said was that they're doing a lot more downfield throws, and that may cause a little bit of drop in the completion percentage. Mm-hmm. To which I responded, well, why are you throwing the ball? Because what is the point? What are you trying to do? I understand they're low percentage plays, but maybe you might want to reevaluate why you're taking that throw. Why are you doing that?
Yeah,
what are you trying to accomplish?
If you want to get a little digging to what I see as MVP, I think it might be Drew Brees. I mean, here's a guy who, again, was supposedly going to hit the wall, getting a little bit older. Saints team couldn't stop anybody last year, didn't have a running attack, and all of a sudden, look, they got somewhat of a running attack now, and then they got a defense making plays. And Drew Brees is just having a phenomenal year again. He doesn't have to throw the ball 5,000 yards. No. He's got a balanced attack, and this is what Drew Brees is. He's still a good player. You could always say Tom Brady because Tom Brady's at that level where he's up there all the time. I don't think you can say Tom Brady.
We've talked about this a lot. It's the touchdown and win award, the MVP of the league anymore.
Yeah.
And they give it to a quarterback every year. Whatever.
But you want to say Tom Brady because he lost Edelman this year. And he's doing it with some no names, but he does it every year at no names.
But again, the Patriots' record without him in the lineup isn't that bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, to me, for obvious reasons, I think it's Aaron Rodgers. I have my own definition. I know you guys don't agree with it. That's okay. Dan Salvanetti, happy turkey day to you too, my friend. Giants, you know what? Go ahead.
You know what? I was going to talk about how Kansas City played awful this week. I mean,
my God,
here's a team that's lost 4 out of their last 5. What happened to and coming into the Giants? You think they would feast on this terrible Giants team? And I don't want to hear that Giants played home. And Giants got torched the week before against San Francisco. Gave them their first win. So you tell me all of a sudden a little bit of home cooking is going to change this Giants team? No.
How many people got it stuck right in their ass in their suicide pool last week?
Oh, yeah.
By the New York Giants.
Yeah.
You know what? If I'm a Giants fan, I take some solace in that.
And listen, the one thing, and I bring up Kansas City, one thing for in certain Eagle fans, not all, but certain, please don't tell me going back that, if they would have stopped Hunt a couple plays and they would have stopped this play, the Eagles would be undefeated. Yeah, you know what? The Buccaneers probably should be undefeated too. It doesn't work like that. They lost against Kansas City. Move on from it. They are freaking 10 or 9-1 right now. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. You cannot tell me, like I said, going back to that game. If they only didn't drop this pass, they didn't do this. No, that's being an a-hole about the thing. You're 9-1.
Now you censor Now you censor yourself.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Selective.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, anything else from last week? Kind of.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm done ranting. Because then people are going to start with I'm the hater again.
No, listen, Joe Gonzalez. Aaron is MVP, just like Peyton should have been. MVP year, he was out after his neck surgery.
He was, but he's hurt. He can't be an MVP when he's missed 3 games.
Then call it the touchdown and win award. Don't call it the MVP.
Oh, my God. And how's Green Bay doing, by the way? They stink, right?
Absolutely. Thank you. Right. You're making my point.
But you can't give a guy the MVP. An MVP is the most valuable player for his team to keep them going. This team is going in reverse because he's not there.
Right.
If you want to say that, then you can say that about a lot of team players this year. Okay. Because a lot of guys have been hurt. What about Houston?
Deshaun Watson should be the conversation. No. They're a completely different team.
He was on the way to an MVP year, is what you could say about him. But he's been out now 2 games. You could say J.J. Watt is an MVP. Because how would that team have done without him?
Here's why I say no to that.
You could say Richard Sherman. You could say Cam Chancellor. You can go on and on and on about certain guys.
But again, if we're going to talk about quarterback being the most important position, I'm making a clear delineation. Green Bay with Rodgers, Super Bowl contender. Green Bay without Rodgers probably wouldn't beat Shawnee.
Folks, write in. I know I'm right here. Just help me out here.
Here's a question. You know what? Brandon Gazzara, loyal viewer of the show. Who's coach of the year? He thinks McVay, worst offense before.
I hate to go on one team, but I'm going to say Peyton.
You think Sean Payton?
Yeah,
I know James Freeman's happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? You can't count Zimmer out either. Up in Minnesota. I mean, people are...
I think... You know what the McVay...
actually, McVay is not a bad one either.
Well, the McVay comment is... everybody wants to talk about Doug Peterson. I get it. Fine, whatever. I think McVay's doing more with less than any of these
I was going to say, Peterson,
you know?
Peterson, not that he's doing a bad job this year, but he's got a lot of talent on his team. A lot of talent. They just got a Jai. I mean, you got, Jeffrey catching passes. You got Ertz finally having a good year. Wentz playing well. I mean, I hate to say it overshadows what Peterson's done with this team. You can't give it to the defensive guy. So, yeah, coach of the year. I think it's Sean Payton because, again, Saints are written off for dead. If you would have told me for the year, like James Primo might have, that this team was going 12-4, 13-3, I would say you're on drugs.
You actually did say
that. I did say. Well, I didn't say that sense. I said that I would walk to Texas and kiss his ass.
Watch the tape.
I still don't think I'm going to happen. But anyway, I definitely think he's the coach of the year. Or McVay. You definitely got to say he's in the running.
You got to look at the turnarounds. Again, I don't...
Yep. Actually,
I know.
Actually, what about Marone in Jacksonville?
I saw that name.
Marone. I mean, you got to put him in the mix too.
Here's the thing. I know this. I know it's going to come to me after this, and I don't really care.
Yep.
The biggest change in the Eagles from last year to this year is Lane Johnson playing every damn game. And even last year they were good when he was playing.
I think they have a couple receivers now. I mean, Ertz is having a good year.
He's had awesome.
Jeffrey is playing well.
Better receivers and completing less balls.
Aguilar
30th in the league.
Yeah.
30th in the league. 1.5% more than Blake Bortles.
Well,
Princeton, are you out there?
But if you look at the other side of it, the defense is really setting them up to get good field position.
Yes,
so they don't have to go 80 yards. They have to go 40 yards to score a touchdown or kick a field goal. That's another interesting topic.
Passes.
Since we're on the Eagles, that's an interesting topic, the field goals right now. What are you going to do? I had a lot of questions during the week on the outside on the thing about why doesn't the punter learn to kick? Well, simple reason that I put it on there out for everybody, being a kicker that I was, it's very rare that a kicker doesn't survive a game. I mean, these guys are told, number one, not to go after people and not to make hits. And like David Akers used to bury people, and they used to tell him all the time, stop hitting people, but he used to take the hit, take the punishment. Now, Elliott, to his credit, tried to make a play, but unfortunately, you paid the price, you got a concussion. Now, again, the punter doesn't know place kicking. Place kicker doesn't usually punt. It's something that's rare. I know somebody threw out there, McAfee for the Colts. But if you look back at his stats, in high school, he was a place kicker, and in college, he was a punter, and that's where he ended up in the NFL. So in that case, it's a little bit different. But normally, Lee Thompson, I know you brought it up, that a place kicker doesn't punt, a punter doesn't place kick. That's why they're called special teams. It's a specialty position.
And that's why your doctor doesn't pull your teeth.
You always got a comment for something, don't you?
Hi, I'm Brian. Have we met?
Yeah, that's true. All right, you want to get into the second part of the show? You want to keep going with this? I know everybody's having a good time. Let's get some more questions. Fire up questions.
Yeah, guys.
Let's go. Come on, fire them up.
I'm watching the chat room live. I know it's like on a bit of a delay, but we're definitely we appreciate everything. Dan Bakley, Cam Newton, a dark horse MVP candidate. I don't know about.
You got no shot, Cam Newton.
I can't.
I might walk to Carolina too.
I can't go with you.
No, he's not the. He's not.
Brian Gazzara. Doug is an ass clown. You're using my words. I know you watch the show.
I don't know about an ass clown. I think Jason Garrett's more of an ass clown.
How good of a word is ass clown?
It is great. You can use it for anything.
Yeah.
You can put it on pizza. You can use it in your store. You can use it on the show here.
You know where you can't use it?
Brian, you're an ass clown. See, it works there too. Look at that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You know where you can't use ass clown?
Where's that?
Words with friends. I found that out.
Yeah.
Not a word.
It's probably not good to use.
Not a word.
Yeah.
Fantasy question: Jamison Crowder or Richard Matthews? I like Crowder this week a lot. I think
Washington rolls this week. I mean, I think Crowder. They're low on people. I mean, You got Chris Thompson out of it now. He used to catch balls out of the backfield, so you got to go downfield.
Well, it's a good thing that Josh Jackson's playing well because if not,
Yeah.
But again, they got to figure out something defensively. They should have won that game. Listen, I'm glad they didn't. For Mike Velardi knows why.
The last few times that we've said this about teams that have good defenses that they've lost is because they've been on the field entirely too long. Just like Dallas, they started to come around with the defense a little bit. We said that. What if they won the game? I don't know. But in the same sense, the Eagles kept them on the field a while in the second half. Same thing with Atlanta. They were on the field entirely. Washington, same way with the Saints last week.
See, but now they were on the field a lot longer. Because they could get nothing going offensively because the left side of their line was crap.
When your offense goes 3 and out, a lot of times it's gonna kill your defense.
Kills your defense. Kills your
Absolutely
defense.
kill 'em.
Who's Rookie of the Year this year?
Well, that's interesting because Deshaun Watson got taken out of the mix this year.
I was going to say, so you
can't say Deshaun.
You can't say Deshaun Watson.
No, and I would probably take Kareem Hunt out of the mix too because he really hasn't done that much in the last probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Here's what's interesting. So we're talking about Rookie of the Year. Are we talking about what you expect to be Rookie of the Year, like Leonard Fournette? Because Kareem Hunt wasn't a heralded pick out of the draft.
You know what? I'd probably say Fournette right now is the front runner. You got to do because like I said, Kareem Hunt, 3 games out of the chute, we're all saying, "Oh my God, this guy's a phenomenal." Not that he's not a good back; he is going to be a good back, but in the way of stat wise, I think you got to give it to Fournette. And Fournette even isn't a runaway favorite because he had that suspension.
Marshawn Lattimore. He's playing
well.
Yeah,
you know what? He's a forgotten guy in the
because of the running game. Alvin Kamara.
But I'm saying,
listen, they had such a great draft. The Saints.
Yeah, and you got to look at the Saints because they're playing well.
Yeah, and they're winning games.
Yeah, and Dalvin Cook started off well. Unfortunately, got hurt. Yeah, I mean, I would put Lattimore in the mix. I'd put Fournette in the mix, and I'd put Kamara in the mix.
A lot of guys.
Yeah,
a lot of guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be that's good. Good question. I like that.
We'll take a look. So we'll start. So again, the buy with burn question of the day: is Carson Wentz the MVP? By a vote of 25-21, the answer is no. I only voted once, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Eagles fans said there were 26 Eagles fans. Carson won that 16-10.
Yeah.
The non-Eagles fans, he lost 15-5. So a little bit of home bias. It's okay. I get it.
Yeah.
But obviously we're talking about home cooking. Let's talk about tomorrow. Football in the NFL.
Yep.
You're gonna eat. You're gonna go to a coma, and that'll make the Lions interesting. So we're gonna start there.
Yep, that's true.
Minnesota at Detroit. I believe Minnesota's a 3-point favorite in this game.
For all you betting fans out there, the double D's usually work. So, but that's just me.
Double D's do work. I'm not sure what the hell you're talking about. But.
Anyway, the double D's are betting double D's. Anyway, 3.5 point line. I like Minnesota here to bounce back.
They had a nice win against the Rams.
Yep.
That was a game that could have gone either way, and everybody was looking for Minnesota to kind of prove themselves.
Yep.
A lot of these teams, and I'm the first person to say it because trust me, I tell about the Eagles all the time. Nobody's played anybody.
No.
Right? And you know why nobody's played anybody?
Why?
Because the league's terrible.
League has a lot of parity.
Bad. Real bad.
Of parity.
Parity means crap. I don't even want. It's stupid. But again, Minnesota played really well. Adam Thielen's a guy who's just, you know what? You thought he was a one-year wonder last year, and then here he is. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Produces for you fantasy guys.
Yeah.
I also think that they go in there and get a win. I think they're hot right now, and I love their defense. Love Xavier Rose. Loved him all year. He takes out your biggest weapon. And you're talking about what Detroit does well. I think Golden Tate's going to be shadowed by this guy.
And Marvin Jones. He's having a good year too.
But Tate catches more volume.
Yeah.
So I think whoever Rhodes is on, you might not want to start. But I like Minnesota. I think they win and cover.
Detroit needs a running back in the worst way. I think I think Abdullah and Reddick, for the past couple years have killed them in the running attack. I think they really need a running back. But yeah, I like the Vikings as well. I think the Vikings pull away in this game. And listen, people have said Teddy Bridgewater's got to play over Case Keenum right now. Case Keenum got you here. I think if you fumble a little bit with Case Keenum down the stretch, maybe you go to Teddy Bridgewater with a couple games left. But if Case Keenum is in there with 2 games left, you got to roll with him.
Well, that's the thing. I think Case has to give you a reason to sit him.
Yeah.
Like you can't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, is my opinion. And if they're winning games,
right,
and they're not beating slouch teams now. Again, that Rams team's a good team.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I agree. Next game out in shoot is the LA Chargers visit the Cowboys, and Cowboys off a short rest after that beating last week. And then Chargers,
no. They're well rested. They did not show up on Sunday. They are well rested.
You got the Chargers beating the hapless Bills team with Nathan Peterman as their quarterback. So,
who had a worse? Hold on. Wait. Question: Who had a worse quarter? Hold on.
Buffalo.
No.
No, Buffalo.
Let me finish. Nathan Peterman in the first quarter of that game against the Chargers, or the Atlanta Falcons in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Who had a worse quarter?
You know what? Believe it or not, I'm still going to say Nathan Peterman because
it's
hard to throw 5 interceptions. Yo, I don't think you could throw 5 interceptions in one game. That's brutal. They were like punts.
They were bad.
They were a guy 5 yards around. It was bad. I'm going to say Peterman.
They were bad.
The Falcons didn't lose though. So they lost that game.
Oh, you don't know?
Oh my God, they couldn't have lost that game.
Sorry.
Oh my. See, I ain't even collecting a bookie yet. So I got to go.
Oh, jeez.
I got to give my money. I guess unbelievable.
We got a fancy question coming in.
Go ahead.
Will Josh Gordon be impactful? Should I pick him up in the fantasy playoffs?
No. Stay away from Josh Gordon. Stay. Oh, you want to add to that? Go ahead.
So I don't think you should be starting anybody in Cleveland anytime, anywhere, for any reason.
Even Corey Coleman, no. Josh Gordon, no. Just come out.
However, what I will say is, I think
come out of effing rehab.
He's a talented guy.
He's not a good player. He hasn't played a year. I'm sorry, I got a little emotional there. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If Josh Gordon plays and they win the rest of the season, is he MVP?
So we're going to talk about the Chargers and the Cowboys. The Chargers come into this game with Phillip Rivers and Gurley, not Gurley. I'm sorry, Gordon. Yeah,
that's the other.
Jump all over. I can't even get a chance to correct myself, can I?
This is what I do.
Woosah. So we're going to talk about Gordon having a decent year, and we're talking about the multi-players that they have with the Chargers. They come into this Cowboys team still without Ezekiel Elliott. I think it kills them not to have him this late in the year because this is the time the Cowboys need to make a move, and he's out of the lineup. But in any sense, I think the Cowboys can get this game done, believe it or not. I think the Cowboys with Dak Prescott, I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. I think they do have to spread the ball around a little bit more. I think they have to give him some pressure, even though Joey Bosa is having a great year.
Daniel Bakley just made a comment about that.
About Joey Bosa. Yep. It's gonna be tough to contain him, but I think if they slow him down a little bit, this Chargers team can be beaten. Remember, going west, not west to east, but west to central. I think the Cowboys get it done. I'm thinking the Cowboys.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask you a question.
Joey Bosa, does he tend to rush against the other team's left tackle?
He does.
Okay, so that's going to be a problem.
Right.
Yeah, if Tyron Smith doesn't play, this is Chargers by 20. Again, it's the same formula. We're talking about like easy X and O's football. This is the easiest X and O's football you're going to have. A guy of Joey Bosa's caliber coming in on Byron freaking Bell.
See if I don't like a pick, why you got to knock me? That's not even right.
I'm
bashing live TV here.
I can't bash the Cowboys.
You can. Go ahead.
That's what I do.
I like the Chargers in this game, folks. I do.
Tyron Smith plays, we'll talk. Tyron Smith doesn't, bet your house on LA.
I like the Cowboys in this game, by the way. So let's go to the next game. We talk about the New York Giants off to Washington to play those pesky Redskins who, by the way, lost a 15-point lead last week. To a good Saints team, but lost a 15-point lead.
It's a weak team. It's a weak team.
Believe it or not, and I'm going to preface that by saying I think the Redskins get back in the win column tonight because I am not sold on this Giants team. Eli has hit the wall, folks. If you haven't seen that by now, I don't know what Giants team you're watching. Okay, you could say they played good against Kansas City last week. The Giants played okay against the Kansas City team who I guess showed us a little bit what they really are this year. But I think the Redskins, even though they've lost Chris Thompson for the year, Cousins is a good quarterback. Make no bones about it. He's going to be a free agent in the offseason. He'll land somewhere besides the Redskins. I think he's out of. He won't go to 49ers, but he's out of Washington.
Breaking news: Jimmy Graham missed practice Wednesday.
Jimmy Graham did miss practice again. What a surprise! Here comes to hurt Jimmy Graham now. The rest of the year.
falling apart.
Yeah, they are, and this is setting up beautiful for the Eagles, isn't it? Anything is going their way. Going their way.
I would like seriously.
It is unbelievable.
It's not even worth talking about.
Listen, if they don't. It's almost to a point now where everything's set for them. If they don't go far in the playoffs, this is a shot season because everybody's getting hurt.
It's funny. I asked a couple Eagles fans the same question, and I said, if let's just say they came up against New Orleans in the divisional round and they lost, would it be a
total train wreck? Oh, without a doubt.
But I disagree.
Oh, the 747 would crash out of the sky.
So
oh my God!
Here's why I disagree with that. I think most people would agree the Eagles are ahead of where they should be at this point in the process.
Oh, without a doubt, because they were 8, 9, 7 games a year with the schedule. The schedule's turned into crap because the whole league is crap.
Correct.
So,
but I'm saying if they lose here, I don't think it's damaging to the franchise. I mean, the fan base will get drunk. Other than that, I mean,
they'll put it in the link. Are you kidding me? This is the year.
No.
All the moons are aligned.
You can't tell me that.
All the guys, I'm telling you that because I think it's coming to fruition that all these guys are getting hurt on good teams. I'm waiting for Mark Ingram and Drew Brees to get hurt, and then or somebody from Minnesota to get hurt again, and I'm gonna be like, what is going on here?
Yeah, but you can't tell me kid quarterback in a second year. This is their best shot. They'll be there for a while.
There's a lot of football to be played. Playoffs are a different animal.
I agree.
We'll see what happens. Eagles are on the road to on the road. I don't want to say 15-1 because I don't think they're going to go 15-1. But at minimum 12-4, 13-3. So
Doug Zeke gets a huge kick in the gut. I get it, but you're going to be there next year. The kids, how old's Wentz? 23?
Yeah, they look good set up. But you gotta hope that Jeffrey stays next year too, because he's having a good year. Maybe he gets paid next year, goes somewhere else, or do you pay him and fall off some other stuff because he's going to want a lot of money.
I'm a big believer that again, listen. Let's go back in time, right? Mm-hmm. Donovan McNabb took a team to multiple NFC championship games.
We also had Terrell Owens.
Torrance Small, Nay Brown,
Terrell Owens,
Todd Pinkston. I know Dave Burns got his Todd Pinkston jersey. Oh, Freddie Mitchell wants to thank his hands. I mean, you're going to talk about a guy who went there with nothing. Yeah. Again, I want to. I don't know. I don't think Alshon Jeffrey is the be all end all for the Eagles. I'll put it that way.
But he's the number one receiver for them.
I think Wentz is Ertz, number one receiver for them. Yeah. Ertz for the MVP maybe.
Yeah. Anyway,
everybody's
we're talking about the Giants and the Redskins. I'm sorry. The Giants, Giants stink. That's
breaking news. That's
it's just Captain Obvious here. Giants are looking for that pick. They got to get a quarterback. I mean, at this point, Giants fans, write in if you're watching the show. Tell me if I'm wrong. The Giants need a quarterback. Forget the offensive line right now. Forget the defense because the defense is actually not bad, but the offense hit the wall. You need, and you can tell me Beckham all day long, but you can also tell me that Eli Manning has hit the wall here. But in any sense, I think Redskins roll.
Eli's the ninth inning, and I really feel everything about that game last week felt too like the Giants thought they won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I don't necessarily know that translates to another win this week. I think the Redskins bounce back. They really got to be a little pissed off at the way that game ended. They had it, and that's a good Saints team that they had up against the wall. And I was shocked personally. Yeah. No, I like the Redskins in the game, and I think it's like about a 7.5 point line. I think they cover that. I'm not even concerned about it.
Yeah. So.
There's your Thursday. You can just go shopping and eat food.
And listen, when we go to other topics, don't feel like we're shutting you out of anything else. You want to talk a little NFL, switch it back to NFL, no problem. We'll jump around, no problem. We're just going with an order we want to throw out there for you. So we're going to talk a little college football. I know it's near and dear to your heart. So
I will work my way through this.
I'm going to jump in there and say, you know what? If the playoffs were to start today, they would actually get it right, which is unbelievable to me. Alabama is still number one. For a couple weeks ago, for Georgia to jump Alabama, to kind of kick Georgia in the ass and say, you know what, we want Alabama out of the number one spot, we want somebody else in there, was a joke. They got taken apart by Auburn. They shouldn't be number one, folks. It's just a bottom line thing. The team that I think is getting kind of screwed a little bit is Wisconsin. You could say they don't play anybody, but Wisconsin's dismantled everybody they've played so far. But they're number 5, which is respectable because you have Alabama number 1, Miami, who came out of nowhere, who we may have to have a show, and George Carday come in here and Anthony talk about the U. They've been clamoring for it for a while. I'm just not a big U fan, so I don't know if I can put the kibosh on that.
I got 2 comments coming in. Anthony and Media, it's all about the U. It's all about the U.
Here we go.
Branding is out. Notre Dame in the top 10 is a joke.
It is a joke. How does Notre Dame have 2 losses and still in the top 10? It's unbelievable to me. Just like Ohio State's in there, too. Ohio State got taken apart by Iowa State, and they're still in the top 10. But I agree with the Notre Dame comment. I don't know why Notre Dame got to 3, because this is why I feel they do this. It's just they'd like to mix it up, and the playoff system is set up for these guys to just vote people in that they want in. They don't care about the records. They don't care about what they've done during the year. They don't even care about strict schedule sometimes. They just want their teams to play. But if Miami plays Alabama, I'm okay with that because I think Alabama is winning it again this year. They're taking apart everybody. Although they lost to Clemson, this and that and a couple times. I think Miami is on a collision course with Alabama. They got 4 good teams in there: Alabama, Miami, Clemson, and Oklahoma. Even though Baker Mayfield's kind of a douchebag, but that's okay. I think these 4 teams got it right. You talk about number 5, Wisconsin, number 6, Auburn, who has just trashed a lot of people lately. Georgia, 10-1. I don't even know they should be number 6. Or actually number 7. You got Notre Dame in there again. Why is Notre Dame in the top 10? I don't understand that. Ohio State, the love of Urban Meyer keeps on going. They're going to keep him in there. They're probably going to get up to number 5 at some point. Penn State back in the hunt, but folks, let's admit it. They've lost 2 games. They're probably out of, compete for the national championship, getting in the top 4. Saquon Barkley, I don't know if he's going to win the Heisman. I think for his sake, he should win the Heisman because the Heisman's a curse in the NFL. But God, you have a question?
The Madden curse?
Yes.
Well, no, what I was going to say was, a few good friends of mine, fans of the show, John Caruso, Paul McCree, the big Clemson guys.
And so, I wonder why John Caruso is a Clemson fan. Married a Clemson girl?
So for them, I hope Clemson finds a way to win whatever this monstrosity is you speak of.
I think John come in and sit in your lap or something? What's he? A little love for John Caruso?
John's actually been ripping me lately.
I love John Caruso, but
John, thank you for
your service. You don't have to give him that a little love. Wow,
I love John. John's the man. Unless he's ripping me.
John is the man.
And he does rip me like on the regular.
So anyway, USC sneaking in there at number 9 or number 10, excuse me. TCU in there, which nobody you heard about, is TCU at number 11. Washington State sneaking in there, but the one team that I think is interesting that they are number 21 is Stanford. Stanford's 8-3. How they're in the top 25, I don't know. But anyway, that's my points. So if you guys want to write in right now, rip me. Tell me I'm a horse's ass. Tell him back off the John Caruso love. No, whatever you want to do.
Here in the Oklahoma, Ohio State, only teams that can hang with Alabama, and the ACC is the strongest conference.
How did you say Ohio State can hang with Alabama? They got taken apart by Iowa State, who's not in the top 25.
Yeah.
So that's my question to that. And then you talk about Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma can hang probably a little while, but offensively, they're not going to keep tabs with Alabama. They're not going to be able to stop Alabama. It's my opinion. So
I agree.
Okay. On that note, let's go to the NHL. Something that you are familiar with a little bit.
Oh, is it hockey?
We're going to talk hockey a little. We're going to talk, excuse me, I call it rock and shock. Okay? The rock end of it is, man, I can't believe they're up there and they're playing well. And the shock factor is, how the hell are they playing this bad? So
I got a couple. You know what? You go with the rock. I got a couple of shocks. Get your standings up. I want to point them out to you because I got to tell you, they're.
I feel the adrenaline flowing in you.
You know what?
A little anger here going.
There are some teams that we're going to talk about right now
that shouldn't be where they are.
That I have absolutely no idea what in the blue hell is going on because it really, it boggles the mind.
All right. Well, I'm going with the obvious one. Obviously, Tampa Bay, the Lightning. Rolling along with goals. We said at the beginning of the year they were going to have a good year, but we never thought they were going to be off to this start. I mean, they are flying with Toronto.
They're up there.
And they are just rolling along, scoring goals. You had told me at some point you don't think this is going to keep up. Well, you know what?
Well, it keeps
keeping
up until it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously they never pictured this start for the Lightning. I mean, with all the changes they had, the injuries they had, they're just rolling on all cylinders right now.
Well, let's just remember, and we mentioned this last year, that the Flyers did this team a really big favor. They did them a big favor when they took Valtteri Filppula off their hands, opened up some cap space for them, allowed them to keep their teams together. The cap space is so crucial.
Yep.
We were concerned about the Stamkos deal as far as how that would impact their cap, and the Flyers let them off the hook.
I thought it was a waste to sign Stamkos, to be honest with you.
He's playing well right now, but Kucherov's stirring that drink there.
Yeah. And their goaltending. I mean, goaltending's running along. Yeah. You think after they got rid of, what's his name a while back, Bishop, that they would struggle in goal. Valer has just picked up the pace.
Toronto continues to play well, but as far as the Eastern Conference, I think your one big upside shocker is New Jersey. Because I was on record, New Jersey had the number 1 pick in the draft.
Well, I'll give you a shocker on the other end of that is Montreal.
Yeah.
Montreal is plummeted. What the hell happened to Montreal right now? I mean, Carey Price is not playing well.
Well, you hear. Listen, the internet is a wonderful source of rumors that don't mean jack. But Carey Price may not play again. Yeah. And Carey Price just signed like a 10-year deal, like some ridiculous amount of money.
I say you can't sign people with double-digigt deals. It's unbelievable.
In the Metro, it looks like the Flyers are last, Rangers right above them. Awesome.
They're going to have great years.
Well, there is.
We kind of thought the Flyers would be near the bottom, but we didn't think they'd be this bad.
Well, I mean, the Rangers have won. The Rangers had a 6-game winning streak, and they still haven't gotten their way out of it.
Flyers have lost 5 in a row. I mean, they lost to Vancouver last night 5-2. They got taken apart.
Well, I got Anthony Medio as a topic for you. As soon as we're done this, I'll set you up for it.
The other shock I'm thinking is Edmonton. I mean,
jumping
over to the Western.
That's exactly. Exactly where I was going.
I'm jumping around a little bit, but the Western Conference, you talk about a team that was supposedly going to be on top and headed to the Stanley Cup. At least I had him in the Cup.
I had him in the Cup too.
7 wins so far.
They have quit. They have quit on their coach And I don't understand. You want to know why I don't understand? All the talent in the world. You got the best player on the planet on your team.
Right.
I don't want. This is ridiculous.
They're minus 19 right now.
Well, yeah.
and Cam Talbot's not playing good.
It's hard to win games when you're minus 19. Yeah. How about Vegas?
I was going to say that's one of my rocks. You said Vegas can hold up a little bit. They're playing 12-6 hockey right now. Listen, Fleury's playing well in that, and James Neal's scoring for them.
Yes.
So that's what's rolling along with them. And a shock to me, who's down a little bit in the Western Conference, who I thought would be up there, is the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, the Minnesota Wild is struggling. And listen, Devin, help me out.
Dubnyk.
Why can't I say this word? Devin Dubnyk hasn't stopped before they played the Flyers in back-to-back series. I know they played the Flyers. Hadn't allowed a goal in 18 periods, or hadn't allowed a goal in like 3 games, and they're still struggling. This team 9-8. I mean, and they're in the cellar in the Central Division. A shock to me is in the Eastern Conference. Going back there is Buffalo a little bit. I didn't think Buffalo.
I don't think they're there yet.
Well, I thought Buffalo was going to be a lot better than they were. I mean, they've got a lot of picks.
Goaltending.
Yeah, goaltending hurts them, and
you should know about goaltending.
Yeah, I should. I do know about goaltending, by the way. And a shock to me is the Detroit Red Wings.
A little better than people thought.
A little better than they thought.
Yeah.
I had them down a little bit too far in standings as they were last year, but they're third, hanging with Toronto and the Lightning, if you could say that, by 4 games. But they're trudging along. I thought they were going to be near the bottom.
They had some cap problems.
Yeah.
And they were able to get through.
Yep.
I'll touch. Here's I'm going to set you for the
top. Anthony Medio, go ahead.
He's making a personal request, Anthony Medio. I want to hear Mike talk some Tiger Woods.
No, we're not talking Tiger Woods because Tiger Woods is done. I only talk golf when they're actually playing. Okay, so that's why we're not talking.
Is that why you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers for football?
Yeah, we're not talking Aaron Rodgers. Anthony, I'll throw this out for you. What do you want to talk about Tiger Woods for? Here's a guy who, and he's going to make me talk Tiger Woods.
Floor's yours.
Floor's yours. I'm going to fucking throw this water in a second. Tiger Woods is a guy, listen, I'm not going to say he's a bad golfer. He's probably one of the best golfers I've ever seen in my lifetime. The problem is, people keep, and it's going to get a little vulgar, so excuse my language.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Okay, everybody's going to keep kissing his ass and sucking this guy's, okay? Because they want him to come back for golf for what he did for golf, okay? Listen, folks, Tiger hasn't played golf, competitive golf, in about 8 years now, okay? So let's get off his jock, okay? And stop trying to relive this guy, bring him back from the dead. He's not good anymore. I say it before, I'll say it again. People in golf fucked up in a PGA by not talking about other players besides Tiger Woods when people were watching for Tiger Woods. All they wanted to do was talk Tiger. Oh, it was great for the sport. Yeah, it was great for the sport. But now this came along because you knew the guy had the guy hit a wall and eventually sometime. And now nobody knows anything about golf. Oh, well, look what Tiger did for the game. Well, no, it's not look what PGA didn't do for the game. They could have had people a little bit more into golf watching Justin.
Don't come to me for this one. I have no idea.
Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson. You talk about Adam Scott. These are guys that I know by watching golf. Do I watch every week? No. But these were people could relate to like Tiger. Is there going to be somebody like Tiger? Probably not. Probably nobody will ever play like Tiger Woods again. But PGA didn't do themselves a favor by talking about other people when Tiger was doing well.
My thoughts here can be summarized by a quotation from my favorite golfer of all time, Happy Gilmore. And the quote is,
You got to throw this in there, though.
Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit?
You had to throw this out there, didn't you? You made me talk about Tiger, and I like golf. I like watching the Masters. I like watching the field. And you got to throw Happy Gilmore.
They're all millionaires like Tiger because of Tiger. Yeah, maybe. All right, so I'm gonna give Mike a couple seconds here to breathe, and I'm gonna talk a little Survivor Series. So you WWE fans, I mean, I know there's a lot of you out there. Survivor Series last Sunday night, I was watching that. I did not want to watch the Eagles-Cowboys game because, frankly, Survivor Series was less predictable than the Eagles-Cowboys game, and that turned out to be true. Yeah. The ending, though, Mike, was really stupid.
Was it?
So you had.
Did somebody win?
Well, a team.
Somebody got pinned?
Well, they did, yeah. Well, but so Triple H, who was on Team Raw, decides to pedigree Kurt Angle on his own team, put Shane McMahon over to pin him, and then pin Shane McMahon. It was very strange. Have no idea what's going on. Not really sure where they're going with this, but it was a really good event overall, I felt. But just the ending was just putrid.
It's funny. The vibe I'm getting from the whole WWE talk that we go through a lot of WWF all the time is that subconsciously you're hating it
Yes.
Because there's no storylines anymore. It's just all fabricated. It's all in the way of they're trying. Well, but I'm saying they're trying to get people to watch it again because back in the day the storylines were even better. But you can't help watch it because you're so addicted to it.
So that's actually pretty accurate. Yeah, I think a lot of wrestling fans these days, they watch WWE because they yearn for the past and they want to talk about how it's not there anymore.
They're waiting for that time to break through, but it's not happening. They are just looking. They're looking for a storyline to get people to get back into it, to really, really follow it again. But it sounds like in your opinion, they haven't gotten there yet.
No.
Yeah, I mean that's a shame.
Well, I also feel, and again, I do obviously watch pro wrestling, and I don't hide that, and I am a 33-year-old man.
It's a male soap opera. That's fine.
It's a lot of overkill right now because you have 3 hours of Monday Night Raw on Monday. You have 2 hours of SmackDown on Tuesday. If you watch 205 Live, it's another hour on the WWE Network. Then there's NXT on Wednesdays. Then there's like 2 pay-per-views a month.
Yeah, but back in the day, it would have worked.
I don't know if it would have worked like this. But Brian Hess, Adam Cole, Bay. That's a great point. Now, the War Games match from NXT, that was really good. Wow. And it feels like for the more hardcore wrestling fan, I think NXT is a lot better of a product than the main roster is, and that's not good.
Okay. I think here, help me, I'm yawning here.
Am I boring?
Okay, there we go. No,
that was a subconscious thing.
I have 2 young kids, so say no more.
That's fine.
Yeah, when you have a child, you'll
January's coming.
That's right. You will see the same thing. A lot of solo shows, folks, for a little while.
I'll try to give you the little snippets every so often.
We'll get Brian on location while he's holding the baby. He's up at night, so. Yeah. But anyway, I think wrestling has come to a point where I don't want to say they've hit the wall, but they've kind of run out of stuff that's really firing people up anymore. They want to get something different out there to get people in, but it's gotten to the point where they don't have anything right now.
Fab Mayor, main roster is pure garbage. I can't disagree. I don't know anymore that a promotion to Raw or SmackDown is really nothing other than a demotion because they're doing so much better on NXT. They just brought up 5 of the girls this week on Raw and SmackDown. I mean, they're doing what they can, but I think the biggest problem right now is they don't have one real built-up star that they've cultivated.
You could put yourself in that situation to make yourself, not believe that it's real, because everybody knows that there's always who the outcome is going to be before they go out there. It's kind of like I said, a male soap opera.
But you shouldn't know.
Well, you shouldn't. Yeah, but
it shouldn't be that obvious. Is my point.
Right, and that's where it's coming to now. Is that they're going with obvious stuff just to keep people in there. They're not attracting any new wrestling fans. Is my point. I would agree. They're trying to hold on to the population that they have.
Like me.
Right. You look at 5-6 years ago, even 7 years ago, the population of wrestling, they were bringing people in because there was hype, there was this, there was that. Like you said, there was Raw, there was this. But now it's kind of the same old churn all the time. So they're just trying to keep instead of cultivate.
And that's why you see the Hardy Boys back in, because
they keep bringing guys back from the past to generate new people.
And now, right, they keep bringing guys back from the past. Why? Because they're not generating new ones.
Correct.
The stars that they have, probably the biggest couple stars, right?
Correct.
The WWE put out the past couple of years are no longer there. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan can't wrestle.
You talk about the Undertaker. How long has the Undertaker been?
Well, he's pretty much.
But I'm saying he's been
since 1990.
Correct. He's been around since 1990. Not that these guys should go out in like 5 or 6 years, but you gotta cultivate and get new people.
Fab Mayor, what happened to all the athletes? What's the point of NXT if they're not being taught how to wrestle? An interesting dichotomy with that is you look back at the Ric Flair 30 for 30, and I think it made that point really well. In the WWF, back in that day, was more that cartoonish type thing. It was all about the superhero and that kind of character. Yep. And in the NWA, where Flair was more that technical wrestling, because you could go for an hour. Those matches, Mike, I mean, this is like, to think about this is insane. They were hour-long matches with no winner, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I mean, the attention span is so low, and I think that they know it. These matches are short.
Yeah, I agree.
Programs are shorter,
and like you said, it's a lot of saturation. They got a lot of stuff going on.
It's too much. I don't even find myself being able to watch all of this anymore.
I mean, if you miss WrestleMania, big deal. You got 3 other nights a week you can watch it. So that's the big thing.
Mark Weldon, NWO time is one of the best, if not the best time frame. Never knew what was going to happen, and I agree. And Mark, you know what you bring up a great point is competition.
Right.
Back when I was a kid,
right,
there were two entities that were at each other's throat looking for supremacy. Well, there's one show in town right now.
Well, I think back in the day, you talk about like a guy like Hulk Hogan, who everybody looked up to as he was the main star. He was this, he was that. When he made the move over to NWO and that whole thing happened, that was like breaking news. That was the moment. People were on the edge of their seat with stuff like that. But see, you can't go back and do something like that again because, like you said, it's the same old guys. Like I said, you talk about. Bring up a wrestler, a big name wrestler right now.
Currently, Roman Reigns.
Okay, Roman Reigns. Okay, would you say he's considered a good guy or a bad guy?
I think everybody hates him. Actually, if you're over the age of 12, you don't like him.
Okay, so if they looked at it as let's make Roman Reigns be loved in this thing, or let him go over to the good side, or let him do it, that's something that was already been there, done that.
And Brian Hess, who a fan of the show, brings up a great point. Everyone knows too much now. And you know what's interesting about that?
Because you think of storylines ahead of what's going to happen.
Well, no, but think about, in the area of social media, everybody knows everything at all times. You go back to what the NWO was, right? Yeah. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, nobody knew their WWF contracts ended. So when they show up on WCW, it was like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? Yeah. It's not the same anymore. These people on social media, they're taking pictures
If you bring in different guys with different sticks, with whole different things, this guy came from this, whatever, that would make it more, I think, appealing because then you're following a guy who's just starting. Starting from the bottom. It's like me with baseball. I'm a Ken Griffey fan because I followed Junior when he was younger. But I followed him when he came into the sport, and I followed his whole career. That's the same thing with wrestling. If they were to follow newer guys in the sport that came in, that started to build their way up or do different things, that's more appealing, I think, to wrestling than anything else.
Mike and Sally, it was inconsiderate of you not to specify 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm 42 minutes late. All right. So going forward,
next week.
Yeah, it's Eastern time.
Exactly.
Fat Mayor, I miss the mic skills of personalities like The Rock and Stone Cold. They could piss you off and make you laugh at the same time.
Well, because they had stick.
Well, not even that.
Stone Cold came in and busted people up and doing the glass and shaking the beer in the ring.
Now the difference to me is very clear. It's way too produced now.
Well, yeah,
these guys memorize lines. They have no leeway.
But because they're trying to find something, they're trying to find an edge to get people in, and they can't.
My biggest gripe is I think that you have Hollywood producers and movie writers trying to write wrestling. Right. It's not going to work.
It's almost like a movie. It really is.
Wrestling is one of the most engaging art forms that there is. It's theater.
You said it in the beginning. They got to bring more new people to this sport. Even though you're pushing out guys that have been here and made this sport grow. Right here, you made it grow, and you're stopping here. You're flatlining now. There's no ceiling right now because you've got the same guys in it and from the 90s and the 2000s.
And call it like it is. To me, the biggest match of 2018 is already scheduled, and it's January 4th in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. And I don't think that WWE is going to have a match all year that's going to stand up to that.
And some of you guys that have been watching it a lot longer than I have, obviously, in this decade and watching it, if you sit down and look who's fighting, you guys could probably map out the fight.
Yeah.
That's how predictable it is now. And
I can tell you point blank. So Brian Hess was over at my house for Survivor Series.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Stop. And it was like Raw versus SmackDown, and it was 7 matches. Right. So you kind of knew when it was 3-2 Raw that the SmackDown guy was going to win the 6th match, right? Pretty easy to tell.
You see how week to week goes and how guys are going to go up and go. And that's the sad thing of it because wrestling really took off for a long period of time, but now they're stagnant. They really got to beef it up, Ron. I think you should go right for WWE.
It would be a hell of a lot better. I can tell you right now, it would be a much better product, and I know a handful of people that would agree with me. Mm-hmm. So we got about 10 minutes left in the show.
Still stuff coming in. What do you got?
Brian Hess, thanks, Mike.
Nothing but love.
Mike Velardi, if they bring back Val Venus, ratings will spike.
Oh my God, Val
Venus. It's funny, and I'm not going to get too. I'm not getting political here at all.
Maybe they could bring Bob Backlund back in a wheelchair.
He is alive.
Yeah.
So much of that stuff that happened in the late *90s would never be allowed today.
And you know what I didn't like too is when they brought in guys from other sports, like you brought in. What's her name now from from Cage Fighting? We said we got Ronda
Rousey. Oh, she's going to be involved.
Yeah, we knew that. We knew that was going to happen. We knew that when she got out of that, she was going in that. And you got what about Mark Anthony? Back in the day when he came out of, he was doing something. He was boxing something. They brought him on. They brought in
Mayweather.
They brought in guys from the NFL.
They did.
Hey, Brian, didn't Shaq come in the ring?
That was supposed to happen and never did.
I mean, stuff like that. Listen, I know you're trying to make
Gronk was there.
Yeah, Gronk. You're doing stuff like that. To me, it brings no credibility when guys from the outside come in and start acting like they're a part of the wrestling thing. That's, to me, is garbage.
Do you agree? Wrestling Mount Rushmore: Hogan, Flair, The Rock, and Stone Cold. You know, this is a question that gets asked a lot.
I don't know about Stone Cold.
No, here's what I'm going to say. Controversial statement, right? The Rock wasn't the best of his era. Stone Cold was. So I can't put two guys from the same era there.
You know why they put Rock in there? Because Rock you see so much now, and you see his movie career taking off.
Well, no, The Rock was phenomenal.
Rock was.
Yeah, I mean, he grew the sport more.
The thing he hurt his knee and didn't go.
Hogan and Flair for sure. I say Stone Cold, and it kills me to say it. It's John Cena. John Cena's carried wrestling from 2003 to current day, and you know what? He's in there all the time. I hate seeing him on TV. I wish I didn't see him.
Yeah.
But, you didn't see him. But, it's like one of those things. His fiance's hot.
Oh, my God.
So, I know one thing we wanted to talk about is, before we wrap up with the NFL, everybody's favorite topic.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about who we think is going to make the playoffs.
Yes, that's what we did. Yeah.
So, let's do this way. So, we both agree the Eagles win the NFC East?
Yeah, I don't think there's a chance that Dallas catches them now. I mean, they really have to fall off the planet now.
Fair enough.
Yeah. NFC North.
NFC North. Who's your pick?
I think the Vikings still win it. I mean, I don't think the Lions could catch them at this point. Packers, no way. Packers aren't even getting the playoffs. And so
South.
I don't think anybody's catching the Saints. I mean, I know James loves to hear that, but I don't think anybody's catching the Saints. I think they've proven that they're ahead above everybody else in that division. Even though Carolina's playing a little bit better, I don't think. And Atlanta, they're still off the Super Bowl hangover.
And the toughest one to me is the West.
NFC
to pick
West.
A winner. Rams or Seahawks?
I thought the Seahawks get it done.
I
think they sneak it out and beat the Rams. You look at the Rams' schedule on the way out; they got a tough schedule. They're playing they're playing the Vikings, they're playing the Saints, they're playing the Seahawks again. I mean, there's some tough games they have.
So does that mean that you're putting in the Rams as a wild card?
Rams take the wild card. Okay. And I'm also taking Atlanta to win the wild card.
Really? You think they jump over Carolina?
Yeah. I don't think Carolina's that good.
How about that?
Yeah, because Carolina, how long are they going to laugh with just Funchess there? I know he had a big game last week, but
they're getting Greg Olsen back, and we'll talk. And again,
he's going to get a heavy workload.
Football fans, make sure you know we're always on Sunday mornings at 10:30. Breakfast in the Box. We talk about those days' football games. We talk about fantasy.
We'll dive into a little deeper.
We go a little deeper in the football.
Yeah.
AFC, Patriots.
I don't think the Jets, Dolphins, or the Bills are going to win that division. We said that in game week 1.
This is the kind of analysis you come here for.
Yeah. AFC North. That's the I'm going to say Jags.
The North.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say Steelers. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, you look at the division. Baltimore's not catching anybody.
Are we saying Jags in the South?
And Cincinnati stinks.
Saying Jags in the South.
Yeah, Jags in the South.
How about Princeton, Joshua?
We've been clamoring for 2 years about the Jags defense.
Yeah.
And it's finally come permission. Blake Bortles is a handicap, I think, because he's not having a good year, and that defense is making plays. And also, they got the best running back in the league.
Anthony Emilio. Bears win this weekend.
Guess what? And I heard that on the news today.
I would laugh my ass off.
Anthony, I'm going to say this here first, and this is going to be a shock to everybody. There is no way, no possible way the Eagles will lose to the Bears. No way. It's a 13.5-point game, number one. If you let Trubisky run up and down the field on this Eagles team, that's a fucking travesty.
I'm pretty sure
it's not going to happen.
You want to hear a fun fact?
It's not going to happen.
I'm pretty sure Trubisky has a higher completion percentage than Carson Wentz.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Can you see Inman catching passes all over the field? No. It's not going to happen. No.
Jordan Howard.
Nope. No. Okay. Are we done?
Okay, so Mike Velardi, shut up.
Mike, it's not happening.
All right. Mike's actually Mike Velardi, are you not hosting Quizzo tonight? I promoted your show.
We love you. We're gonna hop off a little bit.
I promoted your show for you. I thought you were gonna be on there tonight. All right, so we said Patriots, we said Steelers.
Yeah.
We said the Jags. I'm gonna go with you on that. West. We think that the Chiefs hold on because they can be falling apart right now.
Yeah, because the Raiders don't impress me at all.
Off night.
And Chargers, even though they're still in the mix, they're not in there either. Yeah. So, and what do you think about the wild card? I think the Raiders might sneak in there as a wild card.
I don't know, man. They can't get any wins together. They really can't. I mean, I don't really know. Baltimore looks like they're on a bit of a hot streak.
Yeah, Baltimore and the Raiders, I think, get the wild cards.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so we're not gonna move them on. So, Like I did. We'll do it another time. So
Brian Hess, Skip Bayless would love it. Not if he could wear them, but if he could just meet the man who made my shoes. So yeah, no.
Anyway, love you, Brian. So anyway, thank you for watching. We really appreciate watching our Wednesday night live shows. Keep an eye out. We have Sunday Breakfast in the Box. We will be on at 10 o'clock Eastern. 10:30. Excuse me. Brian's going to.
I negotiate that. I don't want to wake up.
10:30 Eastern time, folks.
Mike Consalvi. All sports box times are Eastern Standard.
We are in New Jersey, so it's Eastern, okay? So Wednesday nights normally are going to be 8 o'clock, maybe 7:30, but we'll let you know it's usually 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Times.
Now, Dan Solmonetti's in Louisiana. Dan knows what time's going on. Yeah. Mike, what the hell?
That's right. Thanks, Dan. He loves you.
Dan's a man.
I'm getting there. I'm getting back. That whole
Mike Consalvi got it.
That whole LeBron thing got it.
I love our fans. I love it.
So remember, keep an eye out. We always got good content. We always get us on social media if you need to.
Absolutely. And again, this show is recorded on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Make sure that you like the Sports Box on Facebook, and make sure you try to join our Outside the Box group. It's a little group that we all kind of talk to each other. Yep. It's a lot of fun. A lot of good stuff there. And again, we're on Twitter at SportsBox Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wherever you want to be, make sure you find us.
For our local people in the Hamilton area where we live, we're putting 2 shows on YouTube for you. Hamilton High School, The Road to Rowan, St. Joe Football, The Road to Rowan, talking about both teams going to their state finals, which is phenomenal for this town. It's great. We love it. That'll be on here.
Joe Capuccio, Trubisky is 53%, not better than Wentz, Mr. Completion Percentage.
Trubisky will not beat the Eagles, folks.
And
I heard on the news this could be a look-ahead game. Yeah, your ass hurts. It will not be a look-ahead game to Seattle. No. They beat the Bears going away. So, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters. Oh, my God, it's still right here. Thanks for watching. See you.
This episode of the Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velardi. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on the Sports Box.
1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to subscribe.